Hello, welcome everyone. Thanks for liking my videos. My name is Tim. I bring you villages related content. And in today's video, I'm going to go over this news article. It's called Here's What It Really Costs to Live in Florida's Most Popular Retirement Community, the Villages, Florida. But first, I wanted to explain what the Villages is. It is a 55 plus community located in Central Florida. It's the safest community in the state of Florida. It's also the fastest growing metropolitan area in the nation. And in today's video, I want to bring you an approximate budget. We'll go over line item by line item what the costs are. I'll explain what some of my costs are where I live in the northern part of the Villages. But first, I wanted to go over this news article. Here's what it really costs to live in the Villages, Florida. And the first topic he talks about, he compares what the Villages says, and the Villages does have an approximate budget, saying that the budget they're presenting is slightly lower than what he would expect. This article was done by Ryan Urisman and dated January 10th of 2025. And I put a spreadsheet together. I used some of his numbers, I used some of my numbers, and at the end of the day, we're going to come up with what a monthly budget might look like if you lived in the Villages, Florida. And the biggest difference between your budget and your neighbor's budget might be the mortgage payment. This author thought that there would be a mortgage payment. He's assuming a $350,000 home with a 20% down payment, a 30-year fixed mortgage at 6%. And he came up with a budget amount of $1,678 per month for the mortgage. And then he's looking at the homeowner's insurance, and the Village's estimate is $100 a month for homeowner's insurance, or $1,200 a year. That seems to be low. My insurance is around $1,600 per year for my homeowner's insurance, and that's for a patio villa. And I think I would budget more than that. And what I budgeted on my spreadsheet for insurance is $200 a month, or $2,400 a year is what I budgeted. For homeowners insurance, that's if you can find any. Amenity fees, this is a monthly fee of $199 a month, and that's what I budgeted. And the yellow highlighted items are found on the utility bill that the Villages sends to you via email every month, and you pay it via your checking account through electronic transfer. They automatically deduct it from your checking account. So I wanted to go over some of those figures with you as well. And then the author is talking about property taxes. Again, this is going to assume a $350,000 home, and he's saying that it depends on if you qualify for homestead credit, and most individuals do qualify for homestead credit. It's just that some people forget to apply for it. So he's assuming that between $250 and $375 a month for property taxes. And my property taxes, or the one I put in to this formula, I put in $3,000 a year for property taxes, or $250 a month. Let's take a look at the article CDD assessments. These are maintenance assessments. These are the annual fees that you pay at the end of the year. And these will vary based on the size of your home, where your home is located. And he's saying that the Villages is estimating at $191, but they can range below $100. That's very seldom are they below $100 to more than $500. So I think your CDD assessment fees, if you live in the southern part of the Villages, are going to be higher. And what I did was I assumed $600 a year for your CDD maintenance assessment fee. Again, it's going to depend on the size of your home, where your home is located. I have a patio villa in the north, and I'm paying about $225, $230 a year for maintenance assessment fees. I know there are homes In the southern part of the villages that have higher maintenance assessment fees, they can range up to $900. I heard of $1,000 a year maintenance assessment fee. So I am going to assume $600 should be a fairly accurate number for maintenance assessment fee, which is $50 per month. So the electric bill is next, and they do go through the utilities, and we're going to talk about the utilities in a little bit. But what I found was my electric bill usually is much higher in the summertime. Obviously, you're using your air con. And I'm assuming about $100 a month for electric bill, and that's for a patio villa. And I do have a fairly new Carrier high efficiency air conditioner and air handler. Your electric bill might be higher. It might be $150 a month. And again, this is just a rough estimate. This is an average over all the months. In the winter months, the electric bill is lower. It's somewhere in that $50 to $75 a month range. And in the summer, it's higher. It could be up to $150 in some of the hot summer months. Cable TV. Some people will have cable TV. I installed an over-the-air TV antenna. And I have a tower, essentially a pole that I put up on the side of my garage. And I have over-the-air free TV antenna. And some people will have cable TV, some people will have internet TV. I put in $120 for those people that don't want to put up a free air antenna on their home. So I'm estimating $120 for cable TV. Internet. You can get internet packages in Florida for very inexpensive. And I occasionally will negotiate with my carrier. I believe the carrier is Xfinity. I think it's the only internet carrier in Florida, at least in my area in the villages between the sixes. And I am paying for what is considered to be a slower megabits per second plan. I think it's up to 100 megabits. But if you wanted a plan that is 200 or 300 megabits, it's going to cost more. But on average, my 100 megabit service, I think, is $50 per month for internet. The fire assessment fees, those are the fees the villages will charge you for fire protection. I think they increased that rate. It's like $320 a year. It's a non-ad valorem charge found on your property tax bill. So that averages out to $27 per month. Let's go back up to this bill that the villages sends you each month. It includes your amenity fee of $199. And this is off of my last bill from a few weeks ago. Amenity fee $199. The water fee, that is portable water fee, that's running around $12 a month. Again, I don't use a lot of portable water at my home. Irrigation water is $32 a month, and that's what it was last month. That is to water your lawn, and the villages does break it out into two different buckets. There is a $23 a month trash collection fee. That's to pay the people to pick up your trash twice a week. And there is about a $20 a month sewer fee. So when you add up all your village's utilities, it comes up to, at least for me, it was about $287 a month. So back down to the fire fee, the lawn mowing fee, I think I'm paying a service to come over, and I think he comes over once a week, and it costs $55 a month, and he comes over essentially 4 times a month. Again, I have a small patio villa. That might change for you. Tree trimming, and we talked about that in the last video, or actually in my live stream today. If you have palm trees or if you have shrubs, a lot of those shrubs grow really quickly, and some people will trim them themselves and some people will hire it out. I'm putting in $200 a year for tree trimming. That might be low, depending on how many palm trees you have and what kind of plants that you have, which comes out to about $17 a month. Pest control is another area that you could spend a lot of money on. You could have termite control You could spend upwards to $1,000 or $2,000 a year. A lot of these services in the villages will want to sell you top of the line pest control. I essentially do my own pest control. I mentioned that in a video the other day. When it comes to cinch bugs, I do my own lawn fertilization, but I'm putting into the budget about $100 a month for pest control. Not sure if that's accurate or not. And then there's outside cleaning of the home. A lot of people will power wash the outside of the home. I think that's actually part of the CDD regulations, that you're going to have the outside of your home clean, and people will pay a service to come to their home twice a year, and they'll actually power wash the outside of their home. Pest control, I did $1,200 per year, $100 a month. Tree trimming, I'm putting at $17 a month, which is $200 a year. Power washing, $200 a year is $17 a month. Power washing the driveway. If you live in the older section of the villages between the sixes where there's a lot of trees, a lot of people like myself will have to power wash their driveway a couple of times a year. I'm putting $200 down for that for the year, $17 a month. In terms of eating out in groceries, I was really hesitant of putting any numbers in here because everybody's habits are different when they move to the villages. Some people eat out more than others. The other thing is gas for your car, gas for your golf car. Depends, you might have an electric golf car. So I'm putting $100 in here a month for gas for your car and your golf car. Then there's trail fees. If you play executive golf, the trail fees are $143 a year. That's essentially to take your golf car onto the executive golf courses. That comes out to about $12 a month. There's golf car insurance. I think I'm paying around $80 a year for golf car insurance. Golf car roadside assistance, I think that's around $80 a year or $6.66 a month. And that's in the event your golf car breaks down, you call a service to come out and essentially either fix your golf car or pick it up and haul it back to the shop. The newspaper, if you're interested in the village's news, I just put in $90 a year or $7.50 a month. And this is POA membership. That is if you want to be a member of the association that represents the villages. I'm a strong proponent, and the author is saying the villages homeowners advocates, VHA, is $25 a household for 2 years, and the property owners association is $10 per household for a year. And it depends on which organization you want to join. You don't have to join either one. They do hold, I think, monthly meetings. They also have, at least the property owners, I'm a member of the property owners. They do send out a newspaper. They actually put the newspaper on your driveway once a month that provides you updates with the current events that could affect you as a homeowner. So I just put $15 a year or $1.25 for a month. So the big difference is the mortgage, if you have no mortgage, or if you do. So this author came up to about $4,000 a month for a budget to live in the villages. And that number is actually fairly close to what I came up with when I was doing my budgeting like 3 or 4 years ago before I moved to the villages. I was coming up with a figure of around $4,000 a month to live in the villages. And that seems to hold pretty true. And a lot depends on one-time expenses, things that are unforeseen, car repairs, things like that. But this list here is actually fairly close to what your budget should be. Again, it depends on the size of your home, if you have a mortgage or not, how much your homeowner's insurance are, how much your property taxes are. And I will highlight some of the numbers that are going to fluctuate for every buddy. Uh, and they're going to fluctuate quite a bit. Your electricity probably is going to fluctuate. Your property taxes are going to fluctuate. Your mortgage is going to fluctuate. Your homeowner's insurance is probably going to fluctuate. So depending on how you live, the size of your home, these green items are probably going to fluctuate quite a bit. Your internet, your cable bill, they might fluctuate as well. But the rest of the numbers should be fairly close to what you're actually paying. And I came up with my budget around $4,100 about 3 or 4 years ago. I came up with roughly the same budget. So if you put zero in for your mortgage, you're down to $2,422. So it depends on your mortgage amount. But I think $4,000 to $5,000 is a reasonable budget for you for each month for living in the villages. And if you really look at this budget, you will see that the villages is not that expensive to live in. So you look at your utilities to live in the villages is $287. At least that was my bill. And then you look at your CDD fee. Let's add your CDD maintenance fee. And then you add your fire fee on top of that. And I want to try to explain to you what it is that you need to compare to other areas and other communities that you could possibly live in. So you're going to take your maintenance assessment fee, you're going to add your amenity fee, you're going to take your fire fee, right? And then you're going to add these up, and that's really what your monthly cost to live in the villages is. You're going to have $199, and then you're going to have $50, and then you're going to have $27. So right there is $276 a month. And those are equivalent to some of the fees that you'd be paying in other retirement communities around the villages. And you can see that it's still a reasonably low price to live. And you might want to maybe even add all of these up. I don't know. So if you add all of these items up, all the blue items, and compare them to neighboring 55 plus communities, you come up with $363 to live in the villages per month outside of your normal fees that you'd have in these other 55 communities, whether you lived in the villages or not. So you're going to have pest control at the other communities you live. Some other communities may include lawn mowing, some may not. But that is your budget video for today. And I am basing some of my numbers off of this author from this website. And the website is called Florida for Boomers website. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Feel free to share the video with anybody you feel is interested in this content. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe.